Hello friends, my name is Aditi Pawar and today I'll be sharing my XLRI HRM interview experience with you all. My HRM interview was on 21st February 2026 in Mumbai, and it was in the morning slot. I had also chosen to give the BM interview on the same day, and I also got a call from BM International Specialization. So the international specialization, logistics, and all, there were options where you were filling the ZAT form, and if you have selected that, then you must have got calls from these specializations also. Getting back to HRM. So first, what happens is when you reach to the spot, your verification happens, biometric verification. There is no official document verification, and you are made to wait over there. Then you are assigned panels and then the sequence number. I was assigned sequence number 3. There was only one panel for HRM in the morning slot, and also in the evening slot there was only one HRM panel. Okay, what happens is, first they will give you a GD topic. You will discuss on that GD for 12 to 15 minutes, and then they'll give you a writing ability test sheet, and then you have to write your WAT in that. Okay, coming to what the topic was for the GD, it was, is work-life balance overestimated for the new age workers? And we had a pretty decent discussion around the topic. And then what happened is, we were given the VAT. We wrote the VAT on only, and you have to write the VAT only on the front sheet. Do not flip the sheet. Okay, and also you have to write it in 10 minutes. So in the GD, there are some tips which I'm going to give you. Firstly, this topic was very generic, so I began with the introduction and I started the GD. In the BM also, I was the one who started the GD. Okay, that happened, and then we all went in circle. Then there was a discussion period, and then everyone of us was required to give a conclusion for 30 seconds. And look, if you have that framework of PESTEL or SWOT in your head, you can use such things. But for me, like, I couldn't make that sense over here. So my trick is to always start the GD by asking this, that why is it relevant right now to talk about this? Okay, so that's my trick. That's how I start a GD. Now, after the GD and the VAT, we were made to sit. Coming to the interview part. So my was third. Okay. So after the two interviews they have taken, the panelists have taken, they wanted to eat their breakfast, and they told me to wait. And one of the mentors or panelist over there said that you have to come back after 5-7 minutes. Okay, but I waited for 10-15 minutes, and then I went back, and then still they were eating, they were doing their stuff. And I just asked sir, should I wait for another 5-10 minutes? So he was like, no, wait, we'll call you. And he called me in 2 minutes. Okay, and then he also said sorry for making you wait. And then I came, I sat, and what I saw was, I was not even made to like sit. Okay, he just said, okay, go sit. And then stress interview, like full on stress mode, grill mode on. So what the professor, there were 3 panelists, okay, and one was very senior. So he was like, you're very impatient. Did they not give you a seat to sit outside in the corridor? I was like, no, I was waiting in the waiting area, sir. So he was like, you're so impatient, you came twice, couldn't you have just waited? So I was like, sir, I only came because sir said that come after 5 to 7 minutes. So okay, that was okay. Then he agreed on that, and now the full grill mode started. Like, there was no tell me about yourself, no YMBA, whatever shit you prepare, they'll ask you something out of context. I literally read a lot about trade unions, I read about HR roles, I read about the compliance laws and like legal labor laws and everything, okay, which we possibly can in HR. They did not ask any of it. Okay, what they did was they began grilling me on the basis of my school. So I am from Sophia Senior Secondary School, Ajmer. Sophia. So that's how they said, Sophia. Okay, tell me about it. I told them that it is a missionary school. It is pretty old now, and it was started for providing girl child education and everything. And no, why is it different from other schools? So I was like, sir, there is more focus on the moral value aspect of it, because I realized that this moral value thing is taught seriously in the missionary schools, and it is not really taken into consideration in other schools. That is my experience. I could be wrong, but I said that. Then there's a holistic development thing I told. Then there's discipline. There's more discipline in missionary schools and everything. So I said that in the assemblies also they have a Christian type of prayer. So he asked me, were you a part of the assemblies? I was like, yeah, I used to be a part of the assemblies. Okay, so now coming to the next interviewer. So he said moral values is a very subjective thing. Tell me, what does it mean? What is moral and what is values? So I said, so morale can be used as a part of encouragement and all, but values are like based on our belief systems and all. So he said like morale is not based on a belief system or what. So look, I couldn't give a very concrete answer to this. We were going in circles in this, and I couldn't make out. So the other professor then again asked me, okay, what are the roles in HRM? So why do you want to do HR? Okay, this was the question. So I told them that I want to be a part of these organizations, okay, which build people who are efficient and everything. But they were like, okay, but like you are completely from technical background, as I'm an engineer and I'm a fresher. So why do you want to make such a big switch to HRM? Like, are you even aware of what the roles are? Do you know anything? So then whatever I said, they were like, all of these things you are speaking internet knowledge. Now let me tell you what happens in the HRM. And then one of the professors told me that, look, nowadays people are okay being treated as machines, and they are happily accepting this. There's no retaliations from any end, because they are paid heavily, they have a good social security aspect. So now, where are the moral values? So I was like, sir, moral values and money are different. Okay, they like don't consider them as pole opposites, because money is very essential for sustaining their life, and if they're able to get it, then that's good. But moral values is a very personal thing. Okay, but again my answers were in circle, because I couldn't make a sense of it, and the only thing which I was doing was having a smiling face and like going on. But I don't know what happened and all. I was just rambling stuff. Then the third interviewer asked me about like, tell me, when I was saying there was a in our group discussion, there was a point that productivity should increase and it should not be calculated on hourly basis. Not I mean like productivity should be measured on the basis of tasks completed, because nowadays it can be completed with the help of AI. Efficiency is increasing, and everything, every shit which we can put in, we've put in the GD round. So that was a counter question in this. That what are the matrices that you use? Okay, so I told that there are these matrices, and then I said that there is this billable work hours plus productive work hours difference. Okay, and on that basis also you can measure productivity. Okay, for every employee an hour. So he was like, what is billable, what is productive? Okay, then I said something, I rambled on, I know. Then he was like, okay, you're talking about this, tell me about slavery. In HR there is a term called slavery, and if you would have read any newspaper, you will be able to tell me this. Have you read anything? I said, so I had no clue. Okay, what slavery? I rambled on again. With a smiling face, I was just rambling on for the 20 minutes. I couldn't give any concrete answers. But these were not concrete questions as well. And what kind of questions were they? What were they expecting me to say? I don't know. But eventually, like, it's okay. At the end, what the professors, like literally one of as I said that one of the panelists was very experienced, like he had a white beard and he was old, and he told me that you've come for HRM. Look, this is not MBA, है ना? Because in some of my answer I said that I want to do an MBA. No. So he corrected me then and there that this is not an MBA, this is HRM. And I know you wouldn't have even filled HRM anywhere else, because you coming for XLRI. Oh, XLRI is known for HRM. Oh yeah, so let's go over here. And you coming here for money. He said it on my face, okay? And when someone's claiming, so you can't do much. You can just sit and smile and like I don't know what you do, but I only do this, like I sit and smile and like I know that I have been caught. So now I have this sly smile kind of thing which I do, that I know it is true, and then I say something diplomatic. That is my thing, which I only realized when I gave this interview that this is my thing, because this was the most stressful interview in the whole season for me. But it's XLRI, so let's not lose hope. This is what it was going to be like. Don't even expect something easier to come, because whosoever, okay, so over here the thing was that I have marked my preference as BM. That could be a reason for them to be so agitated, okay? Because I have not marked my preference as HRM. So if you are someone who have marked HRM as your preference, expect an easier interview, because I did speak with other people and they said that it will be an easier interview for you if you've marked HRM. So that is all from my HRM interview, okay? And I will be making another interview experience video for the BM. If you have any queries, any questions related to this, feel free to ping me, and feel free to write in the comment section. But as you can see, I don't know what to expect out of this interview. So, like, that's it. Thank you for watching.